Imagine watching a face so regularly on YouTube that you feel like you know that person in real life as well. But suddenly their videos stop, and sometime later, you find out that YouTuber has been taken away forever. From messing with the wrong people or losing your life to online dating, these are the top 5 most insane social media killers. What was the real story behind their tragic departure? And are the latest updates related to their cases? Watch this video to find out. Miguel El Jasper Vivanco.
Van a llegar, 1, 2, van a ver cómo está el rival, 1, 2, gancho, volado, se va a caer, esto es lo que tienen que hacer, van a salir con la mano en alto, cabrones.
On November 23rd, a wrapped body was found roadside on a dim road belonging to the Costa Rican syndicate Culiacan. When the officials arrived, they found out that the body belonged to none other than 29-year-old Miguel Vivanco, also known as El Jasper. The victim became famous in Sinaloa when he was featured in videos of Marcos Eduardo Castro, famously known as Marquitos Toys. They would travel around and make vlogs of their daily activities. According to family and fans, Miguel had a heartwarming, humorous personality and would always make everyone laugh. But things were a bit more sinister backstage. Marquitos Toys had allegedly been linked to Los Chapitos, a cartel group from the Sinaloa region. This led many to believe that this group of friends were frontmen for money laundering, and the YouTuber had bit more than he could chew. A few days before this terrible incident, his relatives reported that he had been abducted from his home at the Quila syndicate by armed men. A few days later, the police found his dead body. At the crime scene, the officials found his body covered in a sheet. Underneath, they found he had been handcuffed with a rope and blindfolded with a green ribbon. The police also found shell casings of short weapons as well as an AR-15 nearby. According to the forensic report, the victim was brutally tortured, as suggested by the bruises and the broken teeth. Furthermore, they calculated that he was shot 70 times. As we wait for the authorities to figure out who the culprits are, rumors of it being related to a cartel are on the rise, especially considering that this is the same place where the dead body of a policeman was found a few days earlier. For now, the friends and family of the victim have said their final goodbyes at the cemetery after releasing white balloons in the air. Maria de Rosario Fuentes Rubio. Maria de Rosario Fuentes Rubio was a medical doctor and a citizen journalist who met a tragic fate while trying to make her city a better place.
Esa violencia en México hace que surjan iniciativas ciudadanas que también tienen su carga y bien grande de riesgo.
She had volunteered as a contributor with Valor por Tamaulipas, which translates into Courage for Tamaulipas. This platform allowed users to file anonymous reports on criminal activity. The doctor used the alias Felina on Twitter to report on cartel activity in northern Mexico. She used to urge the locals to share these crimes and report on them as well. Even during the media blackout imposed by the drug cartels in 2010, she was at the forefront of journalism. Fuentes Rubio actively posted alerts that pinpointed the location of violent incidents in real time. The cartel did not like that, and on October 15, 2014, she was kidnapped in Reynosa, a Mexican border town controlled by the Gulf Cartel. The following day, a picture of her dead body was posted from her Twitter account, Amiute3, which had 9,000 followers at the time, by her killers. They also left a message for the rest of the world, which read, "My life has come to an end today. Don't put your families at risk like I did. I'm sorry. I died for nothing. They are closer on our trail than you think." The Mexican authorities began a search for her body, but it was never found. Now, her legacy remains as citizen journalists are more motivated to bring the truth to light. Mariah M.O. Wilson.
Caitlin, I want you to know that I fought for Mo with everything I had that night. From the moment that I got home, I started doing chest compressions, which was the longest 10 minutes of my entire life.
In 2022, Mariah Wilson, a promising young cyclist, was in Austin, Texas, for the 150-mile gravel Locos race. However, she did not know that it was her last ride. On May 11, 2022, her friend Caitlin Cash called 911 after she found her body in her apartment bathroom and tried to perform CPR. However, it was too late. When the police arrived, they found shell casings inside the apartment. The friend told the authorities that the cyclist had been with her fellow cyclist, Colin Strickland, that evening. She also mentioned that her poor friend entered the apartment around 8:26 p.m. As the investigations continued, the police found that the victim's bicycle had been thrown in the bushes near her friend's apartment. As they watched the tapes from the neighbouring security camera, they found that a black SUV had driven by the apartment right after the victim was dropped off at Cash's apartment. As Colin was the last first person the victim had met, the authorities went to him for inquiry.
Hey, so, Colin, is that your first name? Yes. Hey, so, do you know Anna?
Last name is Wilson.
Oh, yes, I do.
So, there's really no easy way to say this, so apparently last night she passed away.
The cyclist was shocked to hear this news, agreed to be interviewed, and didn't hold back when he was being interrogated. Back at the house, the police also noticed a black SUV in the driveway, registered to his live-in girlfriend, Caitlin Armstrong. The same day, she was arrested on an outstanding warrant for failing to pay for a Botox treatment, and the police used this chance to ask about the homicide as well. According to the investigators, she didn't budge at all and simply said, "I would like to leave."
Colin did bring your name up, and I think there's a lot more information that you have that can kind of clear some stuff up. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I feel like I should have an attorney present. I would love to leave.
Luck was in her favour, as the birth date on the arrest warrant was wrong, leading to her release. She used this opportunity to flee to Costa Rica using her sister's passport. There, she changed her appearance and name to hide her identity. As the search went on, a US Marshal learned that she had most likely fled to the small town of Santa Teresa. The team devised a clever plan and posted a local Facebook ad to hire a yoga instructor. Guess who responded? Caitlin. The Marshal went undercover and met with the suspect. When he confirmed her identity, they arrested her and took her back to Texas, where she was charged with Wilson's murder and held in jail.
We, the jury, found the defendant, Caitlin Armstrong, guilty of the offense of murder.
On November 16, 2023, she was found guilty of first-degree murder and was sentenced to 90 years, finally bringing justice to the victim's name, Ingrid Lyne.
You smothered her laugh, you crushed her smile, and you left us with the nightmare of the unimaginable.
Ingrid Lyne was an American nurse, mother and YouTuber from Renton, Washington, who went on a date with someone she met online, not knowing that it would be her last date. On April 8, 2016, the woman went on a date to a basketball game with John Charlton. The next day, when her ex-husband came to drop off the kids, no one answered the door. After contacting her mother, who came with a spare key, the two went inside the home where they found Lyne's personal belongings but no signs of her. She called the police to report her daughter as missing, and they discovered blood, human tissue, a pruning saw, and trash bags. On April 10th, the police found her severed body parts in a recycling bin 10 miles away from her home. As a primary suspect in her case, Charlton was arrested the next day from his ex-girlfriend's home and, 2 days later, charged with first-degree murder and auto theft. On October 2, 2017, he appeared in King County courtroom, where he pled guilty to all charges against him, including the homicide. He tried to convince the jury that he was a different person, and he regrets the pain and suffering he had caused.
There's no words that can alleviate the pain that I've caused. And for that, I'm truly sorry.
The next year, on January 5, 2018, he was sentenced to 27 years and 9 months in prison. Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales. Juan Luis Lagunas was a social media star and YouTuber, also known as El Pirata de Culiacán. He was famous for his partying lifestyle and wild stunts, not aware that his actions might have grave consequences. In one of his last videos, he was seen drunk, but that wasn't unusual. In that specific video, he took a jab at Rubén Oseguera Cervantes, the boss of one of the deadliest cartels, Jalisco Nueva Generación. Allegedly, El Mencho didn't like that. On 18th of December 2017, the 17-year-old was partying with his friends at a bar in Jalisco when a group of armed men rushed inside and opened fire at the YouTuber, who died on the spot. According to the investigations, he was shot around 18 times, and the authorities had only managed to identify him by his tattoos. While the prosecutors haven't convicted El Mencho for this incident, he made it clear that he isn't the one to be messed with. That's it for today's video. What are your opinions on these cases? Will these cartels ever be held accountable? Comment down your thoughts below and give us a like. And as always, stay safe out there.